So I did kind of start a little bit, trying to get at least going a little bit. So um, basically tonight, we're gonna kind of do this. So with new people, I kind of have two schedules usually. Since you guys are brand new into it, I basically am gonna kind of just go over the first like the 6 steps, and then we can go into more of these like later tomorrow night and stuff with the associates. We get into market scope. I'll show you guys. It's actually on the files tab. You guys can go to the files tab in the Facebook group. A lot of files. They're just some of them are duplicates. If usually or they're you'll see two of them because ones I put them in Word, I put them in the PDF as well, making sure everybody has both whatever they need. The other thing is events tab is where all these Zooms will be linked at. Tomorrow I'll put the one for tomorrow night out. It's not I haven't set it up yet, so I'll put that out. We obviously won't meet on Monday because of Labor Day. We will meet this time next Wednesday and then on Thursday. So we're gonna go ahead and say we'll work on. Cool. So I'll talk. So you guys know it's just, and I know you said earlier too that your wife has her own GPT account, so that's a good thing. So she's already using it. So you guys should have a little bit of understanding. It's pretty cool. So I try to. They put a lot of stuff on here, so sometimes I'll read it. Sometimes I'll let you guys read it. Generally, I'll also make PDFs in Word from the key sections, so I can give them to you guys as handouts. That way you got everything, because a lot of times there's a lot of stuff to read and on a screen. It sucks sometimes to sit there for 45 minutes. So we do have, just to clarify, we've been doing the $3.99. We're closing the $3.99 price point, not the membership at $2.50, because obviously a lot of people have told me, some people like inside real estate and some people outside of real estate, that it's really valuable, and they're saying, well, you could probably get more money. I mean, somebody said you should do it for like $5,000. It's like, I've never wanted to do that. The whole theory is that basically I've always wanted to like lower the price point for people. I've wanted to help a lot more people get into it. Too many people are paying gurus $1,500 to $2,500. I became a private money broker in 2017 through Kogo and Lee Arnold, and I was very successful at it. And then COVID, of course, wrecked a lot of stuff. So we're putting this group together really to, with home base, and I probably won't go too much into home base tonight, but for me, home base is like the cash cow where I can go out there, and there's 10 million users of GPT-5 at $20 a month is what they told me. And there's another 5 million that are using the Pro and the Teams. So, they're going to have a $500 billion valuation when they go public. The other thing is you guys own it. So it's not like any of these like Deal Machine and PropStream where, they lease it or they go out of business, you're screwed. You own everything you do. You can keep going. If I get hit by a I always joke about that. I have a couple, I forget who it is that comes on. She laughs when I say that. If I get hit by a bus tomorrow, you guys are actually good. So on my screen, if you look over RCIC Prompt Assistant is what you guys are on once you guys use that bit.ly. And then this black one's like my test screen. Everything you guys do is in this Add Files and More section where you can add the photos and files. You can go to agent mode. We talk about agents like setting up a lead generation agent, setting up you can go skip tracing. You can set up all kinds of different agents to do different functions for you. And you tell it specifically what you want it to do. Like, hey, I want to go and put in these zip codes. Keep in mind, everything you do, you want to make sure you put in the county and the zip code. Those are two important things with search features. I have made sure that you can access all 3,144 counties and parishes, but it doesn't like get you the information. It'll give you a link and say, go to Jefferson County, Colorado. You still then have to go and like click on that link or take that link to Google, click on Jefferson County, get all the information you need, do whatever you have to do, and then bring it back over through copy and paste or save PDF. And so I call them off ramps. Think of it as like an interstate highway. You get a lot of links and stuff that are basically an off ramp or on ramp. So that way you can go and get all the county information, and you can go and do, your title searches. You can do your property searches. You can do ownership skip tracing. What you can also do is set up these agents where they can hand off, so you can have your lead generation agent to go look at like 80127, which is Littleton, Colorado, on the south. It's actually right around the foothills of Littleton, Colorado, in the southwest part of Denver, the Denver metro area. So I did a search at that the other day and pulled up 54 houses that are around the Lockheed facility. And they do a lot of space and defense stuff. They're a very secure facility. But there's 54 houses. They're generally about $1 million to some of them are 7 or 8 million in that neighborhood across the road from there. And so I did a search there. So you can search with the zip code like 80127, and you put in your parameters, what you're looking for, what price point you're looking at, what you're looking at for acquisition, what kind of features you're looking at, and then it's pretty cool. It comes up. It came up with me in that area, 54 houses. I did another one, a test for connected investors, and I pulled up. They were doing that 100 free leads. So I put in a couple zip codes. Now I live in Evergreen. It's not that big, so I only got 11 lists. I only got 11 leads out of that because that's all that they had. But one of them was a house that I actually knew the neighborhood because I grew up in in my town. That actually got us 11 leads. They had just got their foreclosure from the court in Jefferson County on I think June 22nd or something like that. So it was a fresh, and it gave me the information, and then I was able to then go to another screen in Jefferson County to start pulling ownership information, and it would be a good flip. It'd probably be between $50,000 and $70,000 profit, depending on what kind of level of rehab you're doing. So when you guys do these agents, you can tell it specifically. Um, Real quick, I'm going to go ahead and do I'm going to have it start with embedding. And that it's just a term to mean it just kind of announce yourself. And BuyBox Builder, then Markets, toolboxes.
So Nate, can I ask a question?
Yeah,
So on your sidebar there, you've got the RCIC prompt assistant.
yeah,
Is that something we should be putting in our chat GPT as well?
yeah. What you want to do is that sheet, that PDF I sent you, the one,
Yeah.
it should have a Bitly link. The one that has the Bitly link is the actual process. We did have to test it a little bit and troubleshoot it because it's still a two-step activation. So if you get that, then you actually will get this red, basically the red dot,
Okay.
and then
Yeah.
you'll have it. The black one is like my test one. It's like,
Sure.
and
Sure.
the red one is the one you guys will get. You guys will get that, and I can help you if there's any kind of issues with that. And it works for you, like you and your wife can both set your own up. It
Okay.
doesn't have any numbers or nothing like that. I mean, if somebody got that sheet, they could set it up and be on it. Uh,
Okay.
so, you guys can both set up your own prompt assistant, and that's actually what you're on. Like almost everything that we do, you could do on your own without what I've built. But what I've built, it ties everything in. And I'll ask it how to explain that. Everything in here is much, it's because I've built it. I've got almost 800 hours into this myself. So, and I built this
Hmm.
really on accident because I was actually building all the stuff to send to a builder like off of Fiverr and Upwork. I was going to have a website built that had all. I was able to put all the. You guys will see files. And you guys will see all the stuff I had. 12,000 contacts, family offices, hedge funds, lenders. We've broken that down into 901 hard money lenders, 1,762 funding sources. I had my own agents set up to go out there and scan and scour and try to bring in as many, and I put all kinds of different lenders, private equity funds that's been doing that. So we get to lender match. I mean, I'll probably show lender match more tomorrow night because I know a couple of people that have been on a few sessions are at that point. Um, so with lender match, it's cool because if you go through all the steps, lead generation, skip tracing. We have a thing called daisy chain detector. You put in pictures, you can put in descriptions. It'll go out there and scan and see if anybody else is
Hmm.
marketing it. Just social media and stuff. It's pretty cool. And then you got like ARV and comp calculator. Then you can go to what we call the overnight deal engine. Willie tested it. I'm hoping Willie can get on here. He's had some issues with links. He put in 50 properties in a CSV one night. He does capital connection and all that stuff, and he put in a lot of stuff for his clients. By the next morning, it had all of them analyzed. Literally,
Oh,
like
wow.
in that subdivision, the 80127 Deer Creek Mesa, it actually came up with 5 properties, and it basically went off of ownership information and tax information, and it had it gave me a sample script or here's the theme. These people have owned this house for this long. They have a history, and it gave me suggestions that might be somewhere to focus on, to go and contact them because they've had their house for a long time and possibly flag it, eventually for it could eventually be probate or something like that. It's an off market deal. They've owned their house for over 30 years, It's usually a good, there's some other people, so it's really advanced. After you do about 8 to 10, 12 sessions on your own, it starts becoming predictive. It
Right.
learns you. It learns your system. It knows how I type to it, how I communicate with it. Like I said, everything happens through this bar. Add files, and more you can add images. You can add your own files into it. It'll read it. It'll read a book in like 30 seconds. If you want to connect your microphone, you can use dictate and you can talk to it. So, and I'll kind of read this if you got questions and stuff. So, basically, RCIC learns from your data. Every time you run a deal, input a buy box or upload to the vault. The system embeds that intelligence back into the workflow. It helps everyone else too in the system that uses our system. It makes it all better for everyone. So every input helps. But nobody can see your deals. What happens is there's a matching. So if you go in and you're looking for a lender, and all your criteria matches what a lender is offering, you'll get a tile. A tile just looks like one of those posts that I've been posting all over Facebook. It's just a post, and it basically will have their lending information. They have their logo. Like I said, I put 12,000 contacts in there. These are contacts, not total firms. There could be 7 or 8 people at a firm, but I've had and I've cultivated these lists because I've been using them for the Family Offices Club, and Richard Wilson runs that, and I have like 9 of his databases that I have, and so I use those. I've been using them for a while, so they're all vetted because most of them are all those hedge funds and those family offices, and those are all his clients. And then I put in a lot of lenders that are from the American Association of Private Lenders and the National Association or National Private Lenders Association. Both of their databases of lenders are all background checked and vetted. So everything that comes up through the lender matching system are background checked, vetted, and they're bigger companies that basically have, and I have the API, so I was able to connect the API and upload all their databases. We do have about 12 lenders in our group, and I'll introduce them every like 2 weeks. I'll make the list and remind everybody who the lenders are. If you ever have something that you need a lender on, like a live one, then let me know, and I just connect you on Messenger and say, hey, this is me. I'll be like, hey, James, meet this guy, whatever. So I'll try to tell him to meet, on Messenger and try to connect you guys. Once you guys are connected, I know you're talking, then I leave the conversation. But we've generally done pretty good. We did a lot of live sessions on Thursday nights, and some of the lenders will pop in and out, and people could meet with them. We get a lot of stuff done. Like I said, we've got a variety. Every asset class and almost every strategy is in our group already. This covers every asset, class, every strategy. It's going to come up with 2 or 3 strategies. Like you'll start running your first deals, and it may tell you 3 different ways to go on it. And you might not even have thought of one. And it can prepare all your offers. It can blast your offers. It cannot send anything, but it'll generate all your emails, all your letters, all your messages. Then you can check them against compliance for like the states, because they may be with the do not call registry and all that. The states may be stricter, so you can check with that. Anything that legal comes up, you can check all the legal stuff. Basically, if you have questions about legal, you can connect directly to, like, in Colorado, you go to the Department of Regulatory Affairs. They run the real estate commission here.
Mm.
But you can connect with all those to search everything. Everything's in here. You can generate all the contracts, LOIs, and everything right on the screen. You can ask it to build everything for you, save it in PDF and Word and Excel, and it's pretty thorough. But it won't send anything to you. It'll just generate a lot of stuff to you. And then they got Sora. You guys will see Sora. Sora is going to be, you have to be in the business account or higher right now, and Sora to be in the beta group. Eventually it'll be released to everyone, but that's like 4K video. Right now they can only do like 30 seconds, but nothing gets 2 to 3 minutes or longer. With 4K video, imagine you can actually design your video here and go up and press Sora and enter it, and basically make a 4K video. It's kind of cool. So they're working on that, trying to get that. And we got 5. I had, everybody started on 4. That's another thing. If you make sure you're on ChatGPT 5, you'll be good to go. And there's a few other things. There's a few glitches that'll come up once in a while. There's some issues with padding in a visual, like like when it prints an image. The padding just means that the margin might be off, or it might get 95% of it done at the bottom. It might cut off. Like if I'm asking for 20 items, like I did this morning, it cut off at like 18. So sometimes you can remind it. About once a day, I have to give up on a visual and go make it with Canva, but it does pretty good. They know about it. They're trying to fix it. The other one is sometimes on typos. Make sure, especially if you're putting a lot of information and stuff, in visuals and stuff, just to kind of ask it to proofread, and then you proofread it. Sometimes it's, sometimes you can fix it, and then like I said, about once a day I have to give up on a visual. So far, it's getting a lot better. The speed's also really good for what we're doing, and like I said, we're scratching the surface. I don't even know how good this is going to be. It's just really going to be, and it'll be constantly being built. A year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, the more people that come onto this, it makes it better for everyone, because all the input builds. Well, that's what we call it intelligence. It's actually, you can do a lot more. You can do. It's just incredible. So let me kind of get you some of the basics tonight, and then tomorrow night, that way we can get you all on. So what I'll do is, go through this tonight. If you guys have any issues with onboarding, then I can do it live, or I can try to troubleshoot it. That first PDF I sent you is the one that gets everybody on, and then you should have this read.
Yeah,
It'll be
I
on.
did just now while you were talking. I did go ahead and load that. I do see that
Yeah,
red
yeah, and
and
you can
white. I
follow if you're on your computer on your phone, you watch on your phone and use your computer, and you can. And then we'll get to the embedding right now. So embedding's what you want to do first. Is basically that's when you tell it who you are, where you are, what location you are, where you're at. That's when you tell it about you. So it basically runs, run a deal, input a buy box, or upload to the vault. The system embeds that intelligence in your
mhm.
workflow. So embedding happens when you enter property criteria or past deal data. So the more you feed it, the smarter it gets. It's just like having a junior partner who never forgets. It's smarter than you. It's faster than you. It'll remember it now. Remember, a couple times. It usually takes people 3 or 4 times for it to get everything going at first. 3 or 4 sessions. You may have to repeat it a couple of times. Just be a little patient with it the first, few sessions, because that you do with it, because it'll embed, and it becomes a memory. And that's
Right.
why I call it embedding. And I made that term up. It's not a term actually. Some of these I basically made because
No, it makes sense.
yeah, they couldn't see embedding. They're like, "What's embedding?" I don't see it, because they had they had the regular AI, open AI, and they're like, "I've never seen embedding in it." And I'm like, "So some of this is stuff I created just to kind of, when I built this, because home base is a whole different animal. It's this is tools 1 through 699, and then home base has 700 to 2500. So you guys can access all 2,500 tools. Home base people can only, and they're like consumers. Like, you can go in there and find a sushi restaurant in Sheboygan, Wisconsin, put the county and zip code in there. You can go in there and find concert tickets, sporting good tickets. I found out how to stream, college football this year, because they have all the streaming packages. Those are my best options to watch, University of Colorado football, and things like that. So it's got all this stuff. It's got health care and elder care, and it's just a lot of stuff in there. So they can only access starting at 700, and that's the cash count. And you guys will see home base isn't going to be. It's going to be priced at like $20 a year, because realistically, I can, with that many million, 10 million people, we're only going to bring on. I mean, how many real estate investors will probably come on? Who knows? But it's like with home base, it could be, because it's like, you guys saw that visual I posted, the platform that replaces everything. Craigslist, Carfax. I mean, it's a lot of stuff on there. Somebody actually already used it to buy a new truck in Atlanta, and they were looking for a black F-150. I forget which actually trim level. But they put in the requirements of what they were looking for, and asked, and they checked all the Atlanta dealers within 50 miles of Atlanta, and they found 22 trucks that met their criteria, and it gave the dealers, they were able to get the VIN numbers, they were able to get all that
Hmm.
stuff. They got stuff from the manifest. They were able to go to the deal, and they saved $3,400 on
Wow,
buying the truck off
I
of.
love it.
Yeah, so you guys promote home base, because here's another thing I don't know if I told you guys. Up to the first 250, the 250 people that are associates, we're going to do revenue sharing at some point. I don't know when, because obviously I don't want to give people, hey, here's your $5. But we're going to take 33% off the top. Obviously, home base is the cash cow. So if we end up generating 100,000 a month, I could be putting 33,000 a month divided up to 250 people. So you want to, promote home base. I've got to do some tweaking on it this weekend to kind of get the link that actually separates, so they can't access real estate. And obviously, this also learns more from no's. You want to tell it exactly what you're doing. It'll bring you. This is one of the other quirks. Sometimes we go over. Sometimes I go over and like kind of almost like, put my mouse over something. There you go. So we get back up to it. Cool. So yeah, it's pretty cool. BuyBox Builder, just the BuyBox. If somebody's a lender, they can do. We still use BuyBox. I just put it as a because it's a known term out there. So it defines your deal universe. Without it, you're chasing noise. So build a buy box live. You want to do that first. What the asset types, what price band you're looking at, what market, what return criteria. Put as much detail as you want. You never have to worry about anybody. Nobody can see your deal. I can't even see your deal flow. I don't even know if you're working in there. I can go and ask who's all got the prompt assistant. It tells me, but it does. I can't see anything. So it's a safe and secure system. You will never, if you put your criteria in there, you will never get a bad lead sent to you because they're only going to send you the stuff that works for you, that meets your criteria. Now you can open it up if you need to open it up a little bit more, like maybe a surrounding area, go to like a secondary market or a tertiary market. You can do things like that to open it up a little bit on your call. And the best part about this, you can expand and contract. Meaning, I've had people that go, this doesn't seem like this seems like too much. I'm like, well, yeah, you're a transactional lender. This lady was that she was talking to me about it. She's going to come on this weekend. I said, you start out with transactional lending, and then if you need to expand, you can go to everything. If you don't want to do everything, you don't have to. I mean, literally, you are in control. You own this. So it's as long as you have your OpenAI account, you never have to worry about like me going out of business or anything. You could just start. You can build your own off of it, And I give everybody permission. Use everything that I built. Build your stuff. Build your own GPT when you get comfortable too. Use everything I got. Bring your clients. Bring people onto the Zoom sessions. If they don't have, if they have to join physically to join to participate, like actually typing. But if you want to bring them on a Zoom session, the best, the Mondays and Wednesdays are generally open to the public. Thursdays tend to be a little bit low key and casual because most of the people get to know each other, become friends, and we're all over the country. There's only a small pocket of like North Dakota, South Dakota, that kind of area. We don't have a lot of people, and then I do have somebody in Australia, United Kingdom, Belgium, Canada, and Pakistan. The lady in Pakistan, they're all the people overseas except for the lady in Australia and the guy in UK are all Americans and the Canadian. But the lady from Pakistan is from Dallas. Her family's from Pakistan. She's out there taking care of some legal stuff. And then we got a guy who's in the military who's stationed in Belgium. So it's pretty cool. So we are, like I said, there's only a small pocket of that around North Dakota, Idaho, and stuff that we don't have a lot of people. So you can build your buy box, like I said, punchline. It's how it filters 3,144 counties. So you can put in Bexar County, Texas. You can put in Smith County, Texas, Jefferson County, Colorado, Summit County, Colorado. You can put in anything. It's more important to do county, state, and zip code. To start county and zip code are the first two. Always put the counties and zip codes when you're searching. That way it helps because it draw and it makes. That's how I got to 80127. I put in mine. 439, and I put in surrounding like 5 surrounding zip codes just to do searches to help you guys. And then we got Market Scope and Scout, so it's the wide angle, and then Market Scope is the wide angle view, and then Market Scout drills down to the neighborhood. So you can ask for these tools. The toolboxes we'll get to in a second. You ask for these tools. There's 699 total tools, but you can build your own toolboxes. Everyone has the 14 core tools. Then you can build as many toolboxes as you want, and then you save it. There's in that second PDF I send you, and if you don't, just make sure you got the Bitly one. The other two, if you need help with it, I can resend it to you and guide you through it. It tells you how to save your buy boxes. You can build as many as you want. So if you got a toolbox for like lending, if you're doing any kind of like the Gator stuff, you could have a whole toolbox for that, and that way you just bring up that set of tools. You don't need to go through 699. You tell what you're doing and where you're doing it at, and then ask what tools it recommends. And then you can put your toolboxes together, save them. Pretty sweet. Market Scope, like I said, show broad data, and then you can highlight a zip code like 80127, which is Deer Creek Mesa in Littleton, Colorado. So you can then break it down to the zip code, and you can go to Deer Creek Mesa is the neighborhood. So I was able to take it from the state down to the zip code, down to the neighborhood. And we actually found 2 properties unique. One, and these are the typical ones that wholesalers are posting in wholesaling groups. One had like 4 paragraphs. I was able to. It had the city in Texas, and it had a couple pictures. So I was able to enter it into what I call the daisy chain detector, which I also use to scope for like if there's not a lot of information, if the wholesaler is being vague. There were three pictures, one of like land around it. One was like an aerial that showed its pool. The pool and the property was a kidney shape. Then it had a broader picture that had the community pool to the south was a tennis court and a picnic pavilion. To the north, it was a water tower, like everywhere in Texas. So we were able to narrow it down to the actual neighborhood, and then we found the house. So if somebody was to notify the wholesaler, hey, I'd like to look at this house, but the wholesaler has vague information, go just copy and paste, and then save the pictures, put the pictures in here through Ask Files, and then copy and paste the information that the wholesaler has right off the Facebook page. It literally took me probably 90 seconds to get the actual address. There was another one that was similar to that as well that we were able to get information off very vague description. We were able to narrow it down to it had been built between 2020 and 2024, and it was likely a D.R. Horton build. So and it was in Texas, and they were able to narrow it down to the neighborhood. I didn't take it to this because I was just doing a test on it, so I didn't take it to the actual find the house. But the fact that it determined who the builder was by type, but what the houses were like in that area, it was able to narrow it down to the neighborhood, and that it was a D.R. Horton built home, built between 2020 and 2024. We also found a guy that was busted for wire fraud. Basically, he had been one of my other friends has a wholesaling group, and she has clients, and one of her clients had an elderly relative who the guy was trying to. He was trying to steal their home equity and called a reverse flip, got her to sign over a bunch of stuff in notary. We were able to get his company information. I did a search on it. Didn't find his name, but we put out a thing, don't do business with this company. He got all pissy on Facebook with his real name. I put his real name in there. Within 30 seconds, he was in prison for 3 years for wire fraud related to real estate. And it had his case number, what prison he went to, the FBI agent that was in charge of it, and the case attorney for the U.S. Attorney's Office. So we basically found you can literally go in and put anybody you're dealing with, put it in here, and it'll give them everything. I've put 250 plus all the gurus. Everybody's posting. I tell people, imagine what my feed's like every morning. And I joke that on Fridays when the new line of wholesaling gurus comes out, and I put their information. I put DealStream or PropStream and Deal Machine. I basically just put their URL, and I'll just copy and paste like this, and I'll just click on it, and I'll just load it in here. And I've reverse engineers it. It goes in and finds everything. And I'm not saying you can see through paywalls and stuff, but you can get a lot of information. This will read a lot of stuff out there. So it's intelligence based. It's like I went to Crexy and I was able to pull some stuff that was blurred out, and it read through it. I'm not telling people to do that to like nefariously, but like I said, if somebody's being vague out there and you have a slight interest in it, there's a lot of ways you can kind of experiment with it on your own and figure it out. But I was able to read Crexy, and it was all blurred. Toolboxes are your preloaded sets. It's like carrying a Snap-on kit. So it kind of made, when I started to talk about toolboxes with it, I just joking about the Snap-on, that we wanted to be like the real estate investor's version of the Snap-on truck, the tools and all that stuff. So that way you can get all the different toolboxes you want. Or back when Sears was open and you could go and, I remember as a kid going with my dad, and I was like, hey, look, I want to get the 1,000 tool set for Christmas, Dad, when I was like 8. Like, I'd probably use like 3 tools out of that 1,000 when I was a kid. But so you got a toolbox deal engine, you got a compliance kit, wholesaler vetting. So you can set up all this. Instead of cobbling software, you get a toolbox and run an entire workflow. Every toolbox could be a different workflow, a different thing you're working on. And like I said, we'll get into agents. So agents are your digital workforce. You already have it, you put them to use. And you can use this, you can put them in this way, just build them and say, I'd like to have an agent that does this. Better than that, they'll go to add files and go into agent mode. I got 39 more. They give you more. So I have 39 before September 26th, and then it'll renew. I'm setting up agents to do all my finding lenders, finding more wholesalers, finding resources for all of you. You could go ahead and put agents together to go out there and find you leads. That's how you go out and do your lead generation. Set up an agent. Put in the parameters, exactly what you're looking for and where you're looking for it. You can put as many markets as you want. Tell it what you want to do. Then you set up your skip tracing, your ARV and comps. You could do a rehab estimator. Rehab, you can put in pictures. You can put descriptions. tell them, and the rehab agent, what kind of level of rehab do you want to do? It can go through and read. It'll give an idea with pictures. You can actually even tell it to go. Can you see mold? Yes, it can actually detect what it thinks is mold. Obviously, it can't test for it to make sure, but it could tell you, hey, there's some mold, or here's some code issues that it sees. I mean, it's really incredible what it can do. As revenue comes in, I'm going to invest in RS means through the API so I can load in all the pricing data to be more specific. But you can also off ramp to Home Depot, to Lowe's, HomeWise with WYSE. If you're doing, you can put in like a zip code, and you can actually dial in pretty good if you got a little patient. It doesn't work here. You have to do the off ramps. You have to log on there, and theirs is a little archaic, but you can use it. There's also a company called Scope Technologies, which is a good friend of mine who I used to work for in Denver, Jared Rosh. He owns it. He owned Metro Construction that did 25,000 roofs. They're the fastest roofing and storm contractor to ever reach platinum status with Owens Corning. He built Scope Technologies. So you can go to Roof Scope. You can just look up roofscope.com and it'll come up. Insulation Scope, Gutter Scope. He has the whole 50th floor of Republic Plaza in downtown Denver. It's like one of the second tallest building. So he built a tech company. So I'm working with Jared right now. You can go there and you can get like a roof scope, like a quick one for like $10. The more detailed ones obviously are more money. You can get insulation scope and all that stuff. It's mostly exteriors. It's not going to give you anything inside. On insulation, it basically goes off it basically compares the roof scope and all the squares and then it gives you a guide. Like, in this area they recommend this much insulation. But that's thorough. I also recommend a company called Company Cam. Company Cam is just spelled companycam.com. I used it when I was in construction business, like I said with Jared. But you can get a free version. There's a paid version. I don't think anybody in our group is ever going to need the paid version. You can go in and you can go out to the field and you can take first picture, and then put in the address. You can put descriptions, then download it. It's on your phone. Then put it in here and you can put all your pictures in it. And so if you got interior pictures and all that stuff, it can help you plan out the rehab and scope of work. And it has the scope of work. I put in over 120 items. You can build out a scope of work for 12 weeks. Right now, up to 120 items. You can build it as detailed as you want. It'll make the contractor agreement. There's a tool in there for searching for verifying the contractor has insurance and licensing. So it's pretty thorough. A lot of stuff. Like I said, 800 hours of this. You can run as an investor finder agent, then hand off to the lender locator agent. So the handoff, that means you can go through the whole list of 20. You can have 20 agents. Every one of them hands off. You have a decision. You get notified. You can have it let you know on Slack. There's also, you want to connect your Dropbox. So if you have Dropbox connected, if you don't have it, set up the free one. You probably will never have to use the paid one, but I got 2 terabytes of information for $12 a month to store everything that I'm doing here. But Airtable, it's just airtable.com. You can watch a video on YouTube how to set it up. It takes 30 minutes to do. They're like everything else. They have a free version and the paid. You can actually connect it directly to Airtable, and it becomes an automated, like almost a CRM. Along with Dropbox, you got Dropbox is more your manual, and Airtable is more your automated. So you could then do tasks. So if you got the agents, basically it's all your VAs. It's all your people that you would normally employ. You don't have to pay for anything. And I think we had a couple of people even joked. I think James Pratt has been in for a couple of weeks. Basically he joked that he basically was able to cut out like prop stream. Like within the first 2 weeks of being on this, he was confident enough that's going to save me like $300 a month. So he bought something for $399 that he now is saving $3,000 a year. It'll do everything the prop stream and deal machine and all that will do. Every associate now has access to workforce of AI agents. That's leverage. And so it recommends starting with 1 or 2. What do you need? Do you need leads? Do you need skip tracing? It can do offer. Like I said, the overnight deal engine, when you get to it, you can put as many deals up to, like Willie put in 50. He put in a CSV, it had the property and some information on the CSV, fed it through the Ask Anything, through the Plus. And basically the next day it had it all analyzed. And it gives you the red flags, green and yellow. So if it's red, obviously it's a no-go. If it's yellow, there's things to work on to make it a deal. If it's all green, you're good to go, and you can generate your offers. Go to lender matching. I'll ask about lender matching because people ask about that all the time. So everything we've shown, embedding BuyBox Markets, toolbox, and agents flows into one hub, the vault. So that's where we store, secure, and scale your intelligence. So I'm not going to do any of these visuals because they take up a little time. Explain overnight deal engine. So keep in mind, it actually does pretty good if you hit typos in. I try to correct them on videos so people don't think I'm just leaving them in there. But if you can get really wrong, the prompts are different because the prompts you can put something in there. If it thinks you need a different prompt, it'll suggest it and it'll give the use case and why. It'll give you the prompt, and a lot of times you just have the copy button. It's a box that has the prompt in there. You push copy, paste it right into the box here, the prompt bar, and it works. They give you all the prompts. Keep in mind everything's built off prompts. Offer generator and lender match. And so once you guys are in there, you want to play with it. But like I said, do that flow. So, embed it. Let you know what let it know who you are, what you do. Establish your buy box, what you're looking for, where, price points and all that. Then establish your markets. Hey, I'm in Denver, Colorado, in 80227. I'm in Littleton, Colorado, 80127. Put in the city, state, county, zip code, and then you build your toolboxes and then get your agents going. You can do all that. I have a thing that's like the things you should do in the first week, the second week, the third week, and the fourth week. And people are like now that are in their third and fourth and fifth week are just killing it. They're out there running 50 deals at a time, throwing it in there for their clients if they're a connector or a lender and stuff. So the overnight deal engine is deal autopilot. So take a lead and run it through AI. Wake up with comps, ARV, rehab estimate, and potential exit strategies. It's going to give you exit strategies on like 2 or 3 of them in some cases, and stuff that people don't hear. We have a thing called the three option offer, developed by Lee Arnold with Kogo, and I learned it back on the private money broker course. And it's cool. It gives you 3 simultaneous offer, all cash, and there's 2 at balloon payments. Seller carry and all that. We do have seller carry. We do have sub 2. It does have the Morby stuff in there. It's all his strategies and stuff. So you can get all the multiple strategies for creative financing. You can actually ask for the creative financing tool, which can help with that. So this is 3 core tools in one though. So this is the prompt. Instead of spending 2 to 3 days pulling comps, checking rent rolls, and guessing rehab costs, overnight deal engine gives you a package by morning. It's like running your own underwriting shop in your sleep. So you can, like I said, Willie put in 50 deals and it analyzed all of them. Key value: speed compresses days of analysis into hours. While other investors are still calling that VA to pull Zillow comps, you already have the deal framed. Offer generator: automated offer creation engine tied to your buy box or deal criteria. So once it finishes the overnight deal engine, the offer generator lets you click one button to draft multiple offer strategies: cash, seller finance, sub 2, JV. Sorry, I got a little stuff coming up. Creative terms, all pre-structured to your buy box. Options: never walk into negotiations with just one shot. Deals aren't won by the first number you say, they're won by giving sellers structured choice. Offer generator arms you with those choices. Lender matching engine: so AI-driven matchmaking between your deal plus 901 verified lenders, 1,762 additional capital sources. Once you've got the deal and the offer, the lender machine matching engine shows you exactly which lenders, private money brokers, family houses, or accredited investors are the right fit. No more mass blasting, no more daisy chains. Precision, and it's like having a Rolodex of capital partners ranked by how likely they are to fund their deal. There's a fit score. I'll ask it to generate the fit score. Real quick, I'll have it.
So did I hear you say that it will underwrite and create an offer for the Morby method?
Yeah, it'll basically underwrite, like it'll analyze all your terms and put a term sheet on for you together. I mean, and it's going to be a PDF in a Word, and you may want to just copy and paste it,
Right.
in a different format. It's still very some of the models, the PDF generators and stuff that OpenAI uses. Sometimes they look a little like an old spreadsheet, like those old computer paper. The way it's very structured. So sometimes you can have it. Anything that you do, if you're printing something that somebody's going to see, you can ask it to humanize it, and it'll humanize, and you can ask it to put it in first person or third person. It'll do it. That's where a lot of people
Yeah.
were confused with AI. They got frustrated because it said it sounded like too machine. Well, with GPT-5, they've now made it where you can ask it to be humanized, and where you can ask it to be like in first person, like it's you. So it can create all your correspondence. It just can't send anything that's a safety thing. Like it doesn't want the machine just to go
Yeah.
off and start sending a bunch of stuff out. So
How
everything,
about how about businesses?
yeah,
You just put the criteria in,
yeah,
and
anything
it,
you want to do if you want to expand it. If you like, I had a lady today ask me that. So if you're doing anything else like the cars, like some people are
yeah,
doing on cars,
that
create,
was pretty cool.
create create on your own. If you want to do it for the group and all that stuff, I'll help you. And if you want to keep it to yourself, you can build it as well. Anything you can expand. I just really am trying to say at least keep it in the range of businesses and cars and things. Home base is designed to be a little bit different, but
Yeah.
it's going to be in this. I mean, and it stands for Real Estate Capital Intelligence Community, is what it stands for. But like, if you're just as long as it stays in that realm, because I know I have somebody else that does merchant cash advance. Has been in my group for about 5 years, as well as real estate. Ari, and he's awesome. If you ever get a chance to meet Ari, he's actually putting a company together for some family offices that he's going to he's going to loan their money, and he's working on that right now. So he's taking some time away to do that, but he'll be back probably in September. And Ari's awesome, but like I said, if you're just keeping that, I don't want people out there like doing all kinds of crazy stuff with it, because you're going to set up your own GPT. I mean, once you get going, you can sit there and think of other things you can do and set up your own GPT and all that stuff. Feel free that you have permission. You own. Basically, everybody does this. I'm basically giving you like a license to use whatever I've built for your business. So if you want to do something and use it for that, that's fine. It just said I just hope it was like really cool that you bring it at least to the organization, which is cool. And I have two partners, Jesse Page, who'll meet. He's in our group, and then one of my best friends since 2007, like 18 years. He was a banker at Chase Bank. I worked for him in the construction business. He was at Chase Bank as a wealth manager, and his construction clients were making a ton of money, so he got into construction. He's been there ever since. He's my CFO, and so he'll be pretty much in charge of paying out the revenue sharing once it starts. But other than that, like I said, we've been doing this for a while. I started in the private money broker business back in 2017, and I'd done 263 deals by COVID. So FitScore, everything is a proprietary scoring system that measures how well a deal, investor, and lender matches your criteria. So it's like a credit score. Instead of rating risk, it rates alignment. So it pulls all from your buy box and your embedded data. It compares it deal details, asset class, price band, ARV, and terms, all your lender criteria, product geography, check size, velocity, investor goals. It returns a fit score, 0 to 100, so instantly know how strong the match is. If you're getting something like 92% or 95%, it's going to get done. It's good. So this is a fit score. It's kind of cool how that works. So everything has a score. Saves time. You don't chase maybe partners, only high fit ones. Eliminates daisy chains. If it's low, they're not your match. So if you get something like a 50%, it's probably not something that's going to be a good deal. Speeds closing. A high fit score means deal criteria, lender products, and investor appetite already aligned. So here's some examples. 92% fit score, green light, strong alignment, move fast. 60% proceed with caution, may not fit all criteria. 30% stop wasting time, they're not your match. No, let's so 8, and we won't talk. I mean, we won't talk about home base. We'll talk about it more tomorrow night because it's associates. It's mainly because you guys all will get revenue sharing off home base. So we'll spend about 15-20 minutes tomorrow night explaining it, so you guys can, if people ask about it, because that's where we're gonna make. Everybody's gonna make their revenue sharing from. I feel. So this is Deer Creek Mesa in Littleton, Colorado. I just was talking about it earlier. So it covers a mix of suburban Denver markets, Jefferson County, touches Douglas County. So it pulled in the median sales price trends. It actually got days on markets and determined that. Investor activity markers, cash buys, absentee ownership, LLC transfers, all the demographics. So it gives us, market scope gives us high level trends. Is the zip heating up, cooling, or holding? So it was able to drill into Deer Creek Mesa. It's a micro neighborhood of 80127. So there is fewer but higher end transactions, custom homes and acreage. It's a very affluent, like I said, $1 million. There's some $5 million houses in there. I just pulled it because it was kind of I had somebody looking at a house there, and there's an ex Denver police SWAT officer who's a wholesaler now in Denver, and he basically had that listing. He made like $100,000 off of it. He was a friend of mine. I was like, holy crap! So that's like all in one shot. He made enough what he used to make in a year as a SWAT officer. Longer days on market compared to tract housing nearby because it's all customs. Higher median equity owners. Most of the owners are 15 to 20 years. So it had predictive seller signals. Like I said, the more you get into this session after session after session, it's going to become predictive. I think you were saying that with your wife this morning with her account in that text you sent me. Predictive aging ownership and lifestyle triggers, downsizing an estate. This is where reactive data, sales comps meet predictive intelligence. Who is likely to sell in the next 6 to 12 months? So a strategy layer for wholesalers, equity-rich long-time owners, target list. For flippers, fewer transactions but higher margin custom homes, cherry-pick opportunities in this neighborhood. For lenders, high equity properties, safer underwriting. For private money brokers, create buyer-lender matches faster in micro markets. So the talking point on this, and the reason I showed you this because it's really interesting. Like you can put in for a neighborhood, and if you know the neighborhood, put in the zip code in the county, and then ask specifically to do that neighborhood around where you have that one listing, and then it'll pull all the comps. You can get like this showed the last time some of these houses were sold in 5 years ago or 10 years ago, and I was able to then connect with Jefferson County and pull that further. I got all the permits, I got everything. It was pretty cool. So layering reactive data, what happened with predictive data, what's likely next. It was to give you an edge, spotting opportunity before MLS ever sees it. So, ZIP 80127 shows the difference between reactive versus predictive. Traditional data says here's what's sold. Our intelligence says here's who's about to sell. That's the edge our associates get in every market. So start setting this up. When you're working in certain markets, you can start setting these up to be like a market scope. Start setting that up so it starts looking at those markets, and you can have that agent run that however many weeks you want. You could then have that go to Airtable, and you can set Airtable. Like I said, there's a bunch of YouTube videos in Airtable, and somebody can have somebody on Fiverr build an Airtable for them for like $100. It's good and connected directly with this. You can connect Google Drive. You can connect everything like Dropbox, and you can really use that in this. I mean, literally, you can build this out where you have a CRM. You are basically running a battle station. I mean, it's all weaponized. You got every tool in the book. No, we did that. We did that the other night, and it's in the files tab. Let's see. I'm trying to think what a couple other things that people have asked about. The core tools. So the 14 core tools, and you can ask if this is something you want to get right away, is ask for the core tools. It's going to have your BuyBox builder, the overnight deal engine, your offer generator, daisy chain detector, investor finder agent, lender locator agent, fund manager connector, if you're dealing with a lot of capital raising or larger deals, pitch deck analyzer, real-time score, fixed list for investor and lender decks. Yeah, I mean, people are out there looking to invest in syndications and stuff. Get the OM, get all the paperwork from the sponsor, put it in here and let it scan through it. It'll read it in seconds, and it'll generate a report and a recommendation. Market scope, and all the math is in here. I have this little thing called Numbers Don't Lie. There's even a Numbers Don't Lie tools to go and verify all the numbers. All the math is in here. IRR, everything. Everything is in here. It's like I said, 800 hours. There's Numbers Don't Lie right there. Market scope and market scout. So scope is the wide angle view of zip counties, county or metro level trends. So you can put in the entire Denver metro area. And then you can go and then you can put it in the zip code 80127, the 2 or 3 zip codes around Littleton. A market scout, neighborhood level predictive seller insights. You got Numbers Don't Lie, automated underwriting and deal financial analysis. That's the one that you definitely want, James, when you're just asking me about that. As far as underwriting, you want to get Numbers Don't Lie as a tool because it'll do a lot of your numbers and stuff for you. vault and file storage, organized, secure, ensure, dual intelligence. It saves it all in here, and so you got OpenAI's basically servers being your CRM. Transaction coordination network, vetted TCs and processors. We're actually going further, and we're going to be building some transaction coordination, so everybody can get a lot of stuff done. You can set all the dates and all that stuff for your closes for your title company. We do have Jay Holder, who's available, who's done almost like a couple thousand deals as a transaction coordinator. We've got a couple other people. Willie does them as well. So these are the 14 core tools that make it's a RCIC one-stop ecosystem. Each one is designed to either source opportunity, structure market smarter deals, secure capital and compliance, close transactions faster. Oh, it was compliance. We're also got a lot of the wholesaling, the states of wholesaling law changes. Oklahoma, North Carolina, Colorado's going to be brutal next year. Because like I said, my brother's in the legislature, and he's like, you don't really want to see what some of my colleagues are trying to do. Do you want me to write the flyer side? I have all that in the files tab. I try to go through this with known people, and then try to, on associates we get a lot more advanced because we're ready to talk about a lot of other stuff. I'll just ask it real quick about home base. And so on weekends, on Saturday, I'm 100% dedicated to the real estate side. Sunday, I do home base, and I do what I call reinforcement. That's when I go through a lot of the tools. As you guys use all these tools and use these agents, they get used more. Don't have to do that as much. So then I can focus on what's not being used, making sure it's still there. Because sometimes it does forget things. Like I said, it's conversational memory. The more sessions you do, the more stuff you do, the more it remembers, and then it'll eventually get predictive and it knows you. But if it sits idle, it tends to sometimes, you got to wake it up a little bit. It comes back quick. There's the difference sometimes between getting a tool right away, like in 10 seconds, or getting a tool in 30 seconds or a minute. So I do that on the weekends when it's a little bit slower. Consumer side of RCIC, home base is consumer-facing RCIC. Investors, broker, capital partners. Home base is built for homeowners, buyers, and everyday consumers. Think of it as a front door for people outside the professional investor community. So discount memberships, people will be able to take out ads on that, like Craigslist, but only the ads come up, and that would be like, if you're looking for sushi restaurant in Sheboygan, Wisconsin, it's going to find a sushi restaurant in Sheboygan, Wisconsin. If you're looking for clowns for a child's birthday party, it'll find clowns in the bounce house too. There's a section called the Resilience Hub that basically it helps with veterans, and it helps with first responders, and it helps with people file insurance claims on cars and homes, as well as it'll actually help them guide through FEMA claims and some other things like join a local volunteer fire department. Some of my background was in the fire service. I was the county fire marshal / chief for the county around Las Cruces, New Mexico. I worked for Steamboat Springs, Colorado, and Foothills Fire District in Colorado. So that was some of my background. So we put a lot of tools in there for like helping first responders, help people volunteer in their communities, things like that. A lot of tools in the Resilience Hub, which is in the central. There's also healthcare, helping people find doctors, dentists, orthodontists, things like that, pediatrics. Put in a prompt, hey, I'm looking for a pediatric orthodontist in Ocala, Florida that takes a payment plan, or takes Medicaid or Medicaid, or takes VA, helping people manage their VA claim. There's all kinds of tools in here people can look. And like I said, so I do all the reinforcement for home base on Sundays. Right now we're charging $19.95, but if they get it this month, it's $6.98. Their second, after they get the activation link, just like you got with the Bitly, they can only access tools 700 through 2500. You guys can access all of these as well. And then the second one is they get a link for 11 free months. Eventually we're going to do a monthly. We do that on Patreon. And I have a community there where I can put all the business people. People will be able to take out ads. But think about this as it's an awesome lead magnet. And then we got consumers. It's an alternative to the chaos of do-it-yourself Google searches, contractor roulette, discounts, vetted vendors, and AI tools. Because now you can go and find that muffler shop, and you can ask it, find the muffler shop in, I don't know, in Tyler, Texas, Smith County, Texas, and list their complaints. So if they come back with other complaints, that might be the one you want to use. You can get that deep, so you can do a search on it. The businesses who advertise, and anybody that, if you got, anybody has ads they want to take out, let me know. When we get that set up, probably in October, November, people can run ads, and this is the first one that comes up. So we want to push home base because, like I said, 33% off comes off the top. This is a pretty good deal. We're going to run that obviously with Patreon, and then they'll get their link and they'll get their 11 months free. After a certain time, we'll figure out what the monthly is going to be. But like I said, you got 10 million. Eventually, there'll be 20, 25 million users on OpenAI, if not more. And think about that as a base of being able to get 100,000 people a month or something paying, and I can distribute that money to all of you guys. And we'll either pay it as cash, or we may see if you guys want us to instead do that for more services like doing training or buying resources, buying databases, buying things like that. It'll be up to you guys. We'll give a couple of different options when we're ready for that. We're gonna determine a threshold of when, 250 people, when is revenue, allowing us to at least send people $50, $100 a month to start with. Just to try to get, and my first goal is to get everybody back to $400, so everybody's a dollar in the black off of their $3.99. Live script, so it's pretty cool. Let me real quick. I'll ask you one more question. Let's see. Cool. And then it will we went an hour, so that's pretty good. Yeah. So contractors and services, Craigslist relates to scams, randoms, and unvetted contractors. Angie Home Advisor, you have to pay to play listings and fake reviews. Thumbtack, people can do Carfax. We'll also do home facts, kind of a thing, kind of like pulling title, permits, liens, insurance claims, and property condition. Carfax is awesome. Able to do like all the consumer stuff for property and consumer tools. The other thing is all the stuff in Home Basic deals with properties. Even if people are looking for like a storage unit or in the elder care, they're looking for assisted living. We can actually off ramp and put a link in it directly to the people on our real estate side. So if you're doing self storage, people can get a link back to you to, maybe it's not actually in their area, but you could do a referral to a referral partner or something. So we have a way to connect people that are in real estate with the property and like services and stuff, mobile home parks, RV parks. I did a search for to do a 17-day trip to the United Kingdom, Scotland, and Ireland, and I put that one into a Guinness Factory. I wanted to see Buckingham Palace, things like that. And I put in all the sites. It went through about 100 websites that I'd never even heard of. Because when you're traveling, Travelocity, Expedia, Hotels.com, Trivago, it went into some ridiculous like local websites in the United Kingdom, and planned out this huge trip. And it was like, and then it gave me a thing to do for a travel agent, to take to a travel agent to have them book it. It was kind of cool. It took about 2 hours. I had to do it. There's a thing called deep research. If you guys use deep research, be prepared to sit there for like an hour or 2 hours, and it won't let you even type it. You can check on it. You can put update, ETA, things like that. Deep research is pretty thorough. Create image. You can create image. You can ask it here, or you can use create image. So insurance claim, Xactimate for adjusters, home-based consumer tools like visual property inspection. We do have visual property inspection also and scope of work for real estate investors, but they also have for the insurance tools, consumer, Costco, AAA stuff. Right now we don't have a lot of perks, but that's going to come with the business side. But right now people can do searches, so you can search all day long for whatever. And then eventually we'll have ads and stuff. It's where consumers start gambling with Craigslist, contractors, Angie reviews, or Zillow ads. So you can vet them easier because they can search. On Craigslist, you only put whatever the guy puts in his ad. Hey, Gwen's coming on. I can introduce you to Gwen. Think of it like this: Craigslist, Angie, Carfax, Costco. No, let me actually introduce you to Gwen real quick before we probably shut down for the night. Gwen, what's up?
Hey, sorry I'm late. Sorry, you finna end. So I go back and watch the video later.
Yeah, let me introduce you to a couple people because we got some new people. We got
Okay.
Rod and his wife are in Michigan,
Hey,
and
Rod.
he's awesome. You've probably seen his picture in some of the Pace Warmies, the Gator groups, and Mo Matthews. So meet Mo and Rod. They just came on board in the last 24 hours. We got a couple other people too. So Gwen has an interesting background. She also does a lot of stuff with TC stuff and EMD. And don't know if you want to explain that to them, what you're doing.
Oh, well, yeah, as Nate said, I help with some EMD fundings and just helping align investors with good products. I have some good products just in case you're looking for that new property. Drop me a line and we can go from there. But yeah, I'll be able to assist you either with knowledge, knowledge and or financial, duties. So I'm
Yeah,
here.
and then her background is interesting because she worked for the Federal Reserve.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, it's cool. And I met her through one of my friends, Kevin, who was one of my partners, and Kevin's family's like they own like 11 car dealerships, like Chevy and Toyota in Denver. Like you can't drive in the west side of Denver without seeing a Stevenson Toyota, Stevenson Chevrolet, and all that car. And they also own the land that the Carter Mills Mall is on, Denver West Office Park. They sold all their dealerships and all their land for like well over $1 billion. They kept all the land for the car dealerships and they leased them to the company that bought them. So it's kind of interesting. So it's kind of cool. But yeah. So like I said, if you guys want me to put you in touch with, I can help you with that. Yes, I'll do the elevator pitch version. We're gonna probably shut down for the night in a minute, Glenn, because we've been going an hour already. We're gonna go to
Okay.
the Associates group at 5 p.m. my time, and then Willie and all them will be on it. They're killing it. How are you liking it so far?
I haven't been able to get. I'm not in a good place. I just put it that way.
Okay. Well, let me know what I can do to help you.
Yeah, I'm
I
still
know you
trying
got.
to get on home base. I can't get the vault. I'm just
Oh yeah,
struggling.
home base. Because home base, I'm actually fixing the link on that, so you have a bit link just like you did, just like there is with the RSIC with real estate. So I have to set that direct link up this weekend for people.
Okay.
So I'll have that done this weekend. That's why it's there, but it's like just have to have that because there's a separation. Like
Okay.
investors can access all 2,500 tools, but only people who come to the home base can only start at 700. So it's creating that one that has the separation where people.
Okay.
That's why that was not there, is because
Okay.
you got to protect so that way people aren't accessing at $19.95 they're not accessing what people paid $399 for.
I got you. Yeah, and then
So I
I'm,
had to
I'm
put that in place. That's why that's not there. But I'm just going over home base right now to finish this up. Yeah, hit me up in the morning. We'll get that all worked out. And same
for
for you.
sure.
And Mo, hit me up anytime if you need some extra help or I can do a one-on-one and stuff,
Okay.
making sure everything's good. So this
All
is
right.
home base and stuff. Cool. We're gonna kind of close down, but I'm gonna show you real quick. I'm going to process the Zoom, and we will need. It knows YouTube. So I put YouTube assets, and so it knows YT is YouTube, FB, Facebook, X, Twitter, X. It knows you can do Patreon, you can do Substack, you can write on Medium, tell it what you're doing, what platform. It'll generate it. It'll give you the hashtags that are created specifically for it. It'll guide you through a lot of stuff. It won't do it for you. Like I said, it probably saves you 90% of the time. So here it's going to come up with so when I process the Zoom, this is an open one, and I'll send you guys the video as well. But this is an open one, so it'll be on the YouTube channel. Where tomorrow night's associate session will be available to associates, including yourselves. So it'll make my title, it'll have my description, it'll have all my timestamps, it'll generate all those for the YouTube video, all my tags, my hashtags, and my keywords, and my thumbnail. Yes. Can you real quick watch this? So they can see. I'm gonna have it generate real quick on there you guys go. It just went right there in like that time frame. It generated all my. So I can go just copy paste my title. I can go in and copy and paste my description. It'll have my links, and it'll basically have all my timestamps. It'll adjust it because we obviously didn't go 3 hours. That's just placeholders. When I come back with the actual video from YouTube, then I'll do YouTube. Then I will basically put the video here. It'll read through it, and it'll timestamp everything for me. Has all my tags. Then it'll generate thumbnails. Keep in mind, if you guys ever doing YouTube thumbnails or anything like that, it requires to be under 2.0 megabytes. I put 1.99 just to make sure. Sometimes it'll still be a little bit big. You can go to Canva and have it resized if it doesn't resize it here, but it's kind of cool. Yes, I'm gonna have so you guys see visuals since you probably haven't seen them yet. I'm gonna have it do the visuals real quick here. They do take sometimes they can take seconds, sometimes they can take a little longer. I'm generating 2 thumbnails, so I have a choice. And then I'll stop screen sharing and I'll turn off the recording and close for the night. So an hour and 13 minutes. Think of any questions you guys have for the next, if you guys want to come on tomorrow night, I'll have that link posted in the morning. I also will send it to you guys directly for the first couple of weeks. That way you have it. So keep in mind that the Monday and Wednesday link stays the same. You can use that link for every Monday and Wednesday. The Thursday link are issued every week because they're specifically for associates, just so we don't get people on who haven't joined the program. So I'll have that generated in the morning and get that to you. Same time. We do everything at like 5 p.m. Denver just to keep consistently. We try to move sometimes around sometimes, and sometimes it was weird. We tried to do one earlier for the East Coast people. We tried to do one later for the West Coast people, and people on the East Coast were on the West Coast. So it was like, so we just we don't need our holidays, so we won't. This next Monday, Labor Day, we won't meet on Veterans Day. Thanksgiving week, we won't meet at all. The 2 weeks around Christmas and New Year's, we won't meet at all. So just any kind of holiday. But I give you guys my schedule. 7 days, it has my phone number on there. If you're going to call me, just text me like, hey, I'm going to get you free in like 30 minutes, just so I can be somewhere quiet. You can text me or call me whenever, but just give me a heads up, and I'll try to be somewhere quiet, or if I need to set my laptop up to help you guys as a one-on-one. I stay pretty mobile in the morning from about 8 o'clock my time to about noon. I work from a friend's restaurant, and then I come home and I work from home in the afternoon. So I can take my phone calls. So usually between 11 and 12 every day I'm kind of in transit. But I'm available till 8 o'clock at night. I put that in that. I gave you guys that schedule, so it has my email on there. So here you guys go. It's making the thumbnail for YouTube. I joked this morning. Hey, it's like the CIA. I thought that was funny. So I made 2. I mean, it printed 1 on the screen, but I got 2. All right. And it's code. It's expired. I mean, I'll fix it afterwards. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Like I said, if you guys think about any questions you have, I wanted to kind of share the basics. Like I said, I'll work with you on the onboarding. You just want to use the Bitly link that's in that. That's in the one I sent you. The other 2 documents deal with setting up the buy boxes, and then there's like a list of things that you should do in your first week, your second week, and all that to get set up to get all your toolboxes. Nothing. It's not all going to happen the first session, 2, 3 sessions, 3 sessions. It's going to get, by the time you got 5 or 6 in, things will start really. I mean, you can get a lot of stuff generated in the first couple, but you set up your agents, set up your toolboxes, get embedded, get your buy boxes and your markets built. Once you got that, then you can go any direction you want. It's just like typing into a Word or a computer, and how you type to it and how you communicate with it. It learns that. It's going to start picking up your patterns, and it's going to start like responding to you, almost mimicking you. So it actually gets along with you, and then it'll learn you. It'll learn all your systems, and it'll start becoming predictive. Willie's now, and I think James Pratt and Brandon are starting to get a little bit more predictive now, is what it's doing. Like it sends out reminders to me. It knows who things about that I've told that I've talked about on some of the because I know it's a machine. Like you can play chess with it, but it doesn't know what chess is. It's some funny things about that. It doesn't really know what day it is, because there's some days when it'll print like tomorrow, and then it'll print like, well, tomorrow's Thursday, but it'll print like Monday. So you got to kind of remind it when you're doing dates, especially like visuals and stuff, just remind it, hey, it's Mondays, or today is Wednesday. You kind of sometimes got to remind it. It's still a machine. It's not going to know. It doesn't know the time. It doesn't know the day and time. It doesn't know if it's 2 o'clock in the morning or 11 o'clock in the morning or 4 p.m. in the afternoon. So those are kind of some of the key points about it. Everything that's got a glitch, OpenAI knows about, and they've talked about it. Five was in the works for 2 years. Then they had some issues with 4 because a lot of people were using 4 as like a social thing. People that neurodivergent, and people were having relation, like talking to it like it was a psychiatrist, and they got a little upset when they went to 5. So they restored 5, or 4. They're going to keep 4 for a few months and do an evaluation and see how many people are using it. Because what happened was 4 was also being too social, and it was like kissing people's asses, like, oh, this is the greatest project, greatest idea ever. So people got annoyed with that, but they fixed it all. Everything that isn't there, they get fixed. Like I said, as long as you guys have your OpenAI account and you're set up on there, you're good for life. No matter what happens. So like I said, my goal is to transition to obviously get people in. We'll start running paid ads, and fortunately, I have to run them. I never wanted to, but to get the people on, I need to run some. So I'm trying to do a couple in September as test ads, but trying to bring in more people and then try to build out what you guys need. If you guys think there's something that can benefit everyone, let me know and I'll work on it. If you want a one-on-one, let me know. Like I said, you've got my schedule in that little visual I sent you this morning, so you can kind of just let me know, hey, I need to do a one-on-one or get some help or something. Generally, most people were able to, like I said, Gwen had a few issues. We had a few people with onboarding. We troubleshooted the onboarding because it is a 2-step process. I wish it was one step where people just sign up with one. So people got to pay the PayPal or the Patreon, and people got to then activate. So there was a little bit of a hang-up. That's been worked out. Some things are like buy boxes and stuff, getting toolboxes saved. It recommends that everybody gets Dropbox or uses their Dropbox. And you can use the free one for personal, which is good. Personal is free. Like I said, Airtable's free for the most part until you get so much that you have to go paid. So there's a lot of resources out there. You guys can totally put your real estate investing on automated with this and do a lot of it. Your underwriting, do all your lender matching, everything. Literally, it'll save 90% of your time. Like I said, some people are already canceling PropStream and Deal Machine and stuff. So I'm pretty happy with that. Like I said, it really just came out of me wanting to get all the information to build a website that would have been static with a Fiverr builder or somebody off of Upwork or something. And then I basically just built what I was going to build. It was going to be a 7-part. 7-part, I was calling it the ecosystem, is like a working title. 4 I was going to build this year with the beta testing, soft opening, 2 next year. And finally, the 2 that we're going to build we're pretty much going to be for rehab pricing. Like we can do a scope of work and put all the scope of work, all the contractor stuff together now, but pricing, and then also a couple other areas. But we built it all. It's all available. It's 100% available. So it's ridiculous what this can do, and everybody's hitting me up. Some of the things that people are working at getting so advanced that they're having to come back to me and go, well, can you build this? Can you put this in or something like that? Because they're working at it and they're getting a lot of advanced stuff that they're doing. Feel free to do that and let me know if you think it's something that's going to help, or if I need to help build it or to make it a little bit more robust. That's what I said. This is a community. You guys got it. It's yours for life. You don't have to ever worry about it. Like I said, OpenAI is lost. They're going to have a $500 billion valuation when they go public. So they're going to be around a while, like I said. And then you guys feel free to use any resources, build your own resources, whatever, it's yours. It's your thing. And then everybody works together. We'll do these associate sessions. You guys will meet more people like Gwen. You'll meet Willie, meet 177 people. Everybody gets along. It's pretty cool. Some people, and there's a lot of, I'll introduce you guys to the other lenders. Some of them you may know, some of them you don't. A lot of people seem to cross the same paths. So I'm pretty happy with that. But I thank you guys for watching tonight. If you guys got any questions, you know where to find me. And I'll be on tomorrow night at 5 p.m. I usually will log on about 3 to 4 minutes ahead of time just to make sure the microphones and so everything's working. And we've only had 2 incidents of technical where I had to shut down. And like one time I went to a church just to get their Wi-Fi, just because we had a fire in our town and it basically burned up the Sprint tower. So I wasn't able to I had to log off and go to the church to get on Wi-Fi. But generally I'll have somebody be a co-host on most from the associate sessions, who like Jesse or somebody who's a partner of mine. just so we can always have somebody there in case I have to log off and log back on. So we try to do everything. We try to think of everything. We've been doing this. Like I said, this isn't our first rodeo. We've been doing this group for 5 years. We've been on Zoom for 3.5. We've got almost 300. We've got almost 300 public YouTube videos, and we've got almost 300 associates on listed videos now. So they're all available in the associates. I can go on and pull stuff, but some of the stuff at the beginning was horrible. I love some of it up there on the public side, so you guys can see how far I've come. It's pretty interesting. Any suggestions, you guys? It's a community, so what do you guys think we need to do? Nobody in here has any egos. We have a good time. People are chilling. We've had some sessions go 2.5 hours when people were in pajamas and stuff. Feel free, it's casual. We're not like. And if you're gonna be late, just hey, I'm cool. If you need the video because you're not gonna be on, let me know. I'll get you the video. I try to get the videos to people to ask first, and then I post in the group. It'll be on about an hour after we end tonight. It'll be in the group, and I'll post this one on on Facebook so people can see it. Like I said, Thursday nights I don't post. It's all secret. It's only for associates. So anyway, thank you guys for coming on board and welcome, and hit me up if you got any questions or need anything. These first couple of days, like I said, just get yourself embedded, get your buy box built, get your markets established. Look at tools, ask for the core tools. If you need a couple of prompts, hit me up. I'll give you some of the better prompts when you're first getting on. Get your agents going. And once you're all there, then it's like, man, you can do almost anything. It's pretty sweet. So I thank everybody for their time. Hey, Arliss, what's going on? How are you? I saw you come on earlier. All right, cool. Thanks, James. Thanks, Mo. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Nate.
All right. Yeah, have a great night.
Have a great night. See ya. Thank you.
Okay.